two teams again, as we've said, have had tough starts to the season. It's a little bit understandable if you are the youth national team, because you are playing against full-grown men. You with Mendiola, you can definitely expect more, given that they've been in the Philippines Football League since 2019. And they actually predate the league also, and did compete in the United Football League back in the day. Mendiola also with a strong grassroots program. His throw-in is eventually taken the line by Janvitz Karai. You see his family is here in attendance, of course. It's always great to see for the players. Amir Manesh. It was off of that back line of the youngsters. There's a look at Joshua Mourinho again. He's the captain for them. It's a corner kick that they give up. Ahmed will send this one. Ahmed did not suit up in that last game of theirs. He had to serve a suspension again, as there is eventually the opener in this game. 1-0 for Mendiola FC. Taking full advantage of their height over this young squad. Finding, of course, that advantage and maximizing it. Thanks to that, they have a goal to show. And we are only in the early stages of this game. Here's another look. Was it off of Mila Begandom? It is highly likely. I'll try to get more pictures of that actually. So Ahmed again with the right foot delivery.
FC 1991 by player number 7, Amir Memari Manesh.
So confirmation from our stadium announcer is that it is Amir Manesh. Amir Manesh, one of the many foreign players in this squad. Looks like they get to shake off those chains again when we refer to Mendiola. Mendiola trying to find the result. Now there's a goal. They need to convert it to a win. We're saying that because Mendiola has managed to score goals already, even in games wherein they lost. While the youth national team again has yet to score, but they've shown us great build-up from the back. They build up like this, as you see, and then eventually they look promising in the attack. But the future is bright for Philippine football, seeing that these guys are taken care of. Looks like they thought about the long ball for a moment. Diagonal eventually going to Jan Karaik. It is from Joshua Mourinho. There's Cans Marianti Puesto. Second consecutive start for him. He's capable of playing in the midfield and on defense. We'll see this throw in. The cross whipped in. A header. Oh, just bouncing in front of the mouth of the goal. It's still in play as they try to hunt down Antipuesto. Releases the ball in time, but it is eventually a throw-in. Of course, if you're Antipuesto, you eventually give up a throw-in, as we thought this was going to be in already from our vantage point. That is actually quite far. Martin Nunez, one of the players out to hunt. The youngster showing fight here despite being much smaller. Said again, there's plenty of that Toloy FC in this team again. That is actually the venue where they do play, coach, or do train, Coach Sergi Mascarel did say. Toloy FC has a beautiful pitch, of course, in Muntinlupa City. This one takes a number of bounces. Ryan Hermida. And as we say that, it was going the way already of Saudi Company. And it's cleared off, of course, because Mendiola has its troops in the attacking end. nobody to come up with that press to just bother Bata a little bit. A quarter of an hour or a little over the quarter hour mark already. It's 1-0 thanks to Amir Manesh. This is not the first goal of Manesh this season, in fact. Manesh did score in that loss to Loyola FC. That was a 3-2. That was a 3-2 result for them. Mendiola did not start off its season in a good way with that 6-0 defeat to Cebu FC. So eventually run through the results. As we see possession, it's at a close 52-48. Oh, Diaz. Go Diaz. Alan de Gracia. Nunez. That long ball could not connect, but it is picked up by Karaig. And we're going back after that loss to Cebu FC. Mendiola did fall to Manila Digger. And then a close one with Loyola FC, 3-2. That result, by the way, against Manila Digger was a 4-0 defeat. And then after it was that massive one, a 7-0 loss to Taguig FC. That is actually the biggest scoring margin or losing margin in this season so far. But definitely much less of those scorelines with the Philippines Football League field being trimmed down to 10. It was 15 again last season. It is that transition season again, as we've said, allowing teams to join with the top 5 being excluded from the top tier. As there was the stop by Sheyadi. Pressure on Moaya Duzade. Got some distance there. Team is not around. As there's Milag and company. Leo Anthony. Begandom to chase. Begandom did play for Taguig FC in that previous season. But in the Copa Paulino Alcantara, which took place about 12 months ago to be precise. Milad Begandom was actually in the roster of Mendiola FC. When I recall, he did not suit up. No, I beg your pardon, because here some confusion in the team sheet. Number 7, it's not Leo Anthony, it's Amir Manesh. Anthony is donning the number 17 and is on the bench. So some mistaken identity there. Our apologies. Traffic will continue left to right. That's been the case so far in this game. There is that midfield block of Mendiola FC. They've been absorbing defense, or they've been absorbing on defense as of late. Not exactly any aggression or that press. We did see that run from Milad Begandom actually previously. But in a bit, let's take a look at the national team's results in the Philippines Football League. But again, the goal here with getting these players to suit up in the Philippines Football League, it is regular experience being racked up at the professional stage, so that when it is time to play, of course, on the international level, there's, you could say, there's those repetitions and no more jitters. You know what it's like to go through a day, and my playing against full-grown men who are definitely more experienced. They do, in fact, get that chance to, you could say, improve with skills. But here are some players, of course. It's relatively common at young ages to be playing in the older divisions. That's to accelerate their growth, of course, as a player. Milad got it over to Hamid. But it is sent back. Moaya Duzade over to Christian Lapas. The Gracia knocked it back though. There's a thumbs up from Amir Manesh. So So let's take a look at the results again of the youth national team. And if we start, the national team did stay close to Cebu FC, when it was the goals of Samuel Strong and Lorenzo Genko that were enough to get them. As there's this chance, the ball got into the box. So just going back, it was a strong start for the youth national team because they stayed close to Cebu, even frustrated them. But the goals of Samuel Strong and Lorenzo Genko were enough to give or to deal the youngsters a loss. And then after Cebu FC, it was another powerhouse that they had to face in Stalin Laguna FC. It was a 4-0 loss again. Do note the youth national team doesn't have any wins to show yet, but they did pick up a draw, confidence booster versus Maharlika. But here comes Janko Johnson. Oh, you could see the frustration there, but it was a great stop by Brian Villanueva as they kick this one long now. And with that goalless draw of the national team versus Maharlika, they were actually in control for great spells. And with that draw, it's now on to this game. They trail 1-0 in the 23rd minute. And there is this set piece for Mendiola FC. Let's see, or let's find out how Christian Lapas will negotiate this one. But it was Begandom again who was floored. These youngsters again, in spite of them being much younger, they're built tough. They're not afraid to go up against people who are much bigger, faster, and stronger than them. To get better, of course, you have to play against people who are above your skill level. As there was that effort by Brian Villanueva showing the hustle, giving up a throw in on the other end though. So you have to be concerned if you are the youngsters again. You have to deal with this dangerous for Mendiola. They have a goal to show for it already thanks to Amir Manesh, his second of the season. Here comes a long throw. They will use that height again, as we've said. It took a bounce in the middle of the box. They eventually got it to the side. The Brave Men trying to get numbers back. Gans Mariante Puesto got the stop. I think I saw a handball. That is what Sergi Mascarel is asking for. But no call by the referee. So that's what Coach Sergi, or there's Coach Sergi Mascarel. And we saw it also. And this has got to be Coach Dan Padernal actually, even though it's Yuki Matsuda who is on the team sheet. We're aware, of course, from word that it's Dan Padernal who is that man for them. Coach Dan was back last game after serving suspensions after an incident late last in the previous edition of the Philippines Football League. As it's another free kick that is won by the team in blue. You're catching this game again on the Philippines Football League's Facebook and YouTube pages, also on Premier Football and Premier Sports. Back to the action though. This one was played quick. Milad Begandom getting up slowly but quickly. Or slowly but surely, sorry. I beg your pardon. They will knock it back to Ryan Hermida. Begandom gave it back. Got hit in the shin this time. Hermida tried to go for this early cross. Begandom still down. Hamed also being livid, as he always is. Well, it was the shin. Players wear shin guards, but it's not the entire shin that gets completely covered. Let's take another look. Alright, so there was the hit that supposedly made Milad hit the deck. But is there a possibility of a yellow? because Meliton Pelayo is holding his yellow card in his hand. It's the shin again that needs protection because it's just bone, no muscle in front. But Pegandom also getting treatment right here. So it's that goal once more of Amir Manesh, the difference maker. It was off the corner kick, the Hamed Hajimari assist. And Milad Pegandom getting the start up front. There's pictures again of treatment. So with this stoppage, of course, we'll expect time, or plenty of time, or more time than usual, to be added on to the halftime, or to the dying stages of the first half. Well, we do see Pegandom is back and okay as expected. And there is this free kick. It's dangerous again because the physical advantage of Mendiola FC. It's a physical and ceiling, of course, that they will look to utilize versus this young team. Mendiola searching again for its first points of the season. The national team has a point to show again. Hamed the service. Easily picked up by Nathan Bata. Distributing this one well. It's over to Cyril Saot. It's still with him. He's got Naughty Nunez on the other side, but there's players between them. Cyril trying to switch it up. It is off of Hamed. And it is past that goal line, so it will be a corner kick. Of course, even if you have that disadvantage in terms of height as the national team, you might as well take advantage of these opportunities and be creative. Later again, we do have that matchup between Maharlika Taguig FC and Manila Digger. It is a double header today again. These are the matches that were postponed due to the recent typhoon. So it's Diaz and Naughty Nunez. Well, previously they did play it short and eventually whipped in across. This one is played long. A collision also again. There's a Mendiola player down once more. So it's the young boys who are the ones being more physical or are bodying up Mendiola FC. Oftentimes, we see older players take the fight to younger boys and use that go lang, as we'd say. I suppose it's that hunger. And with these guys having that disadvantage physically again, as they are much younger, you gotta have that fight, grit, and fight and grit in them. Got some magic spray, of course, here. So we are nearing the 30th minute. We do see, of course, some instructions being given out from the Mendiola FC technical area. But this is a second stoppage due to injury, a relatively long one again. We also have games tomorrow. Just to remind everybody, of course, they will also be played here at the same venue, the Rizal Memorial Stadium, at 4 p.m. It's Kaya FC Iloilo, the defending champions, facing Loyola FC. And then there is Stalin Laguna and Davao Aguilas Yumac squaring off at 7 p.m. So play now will resume as we are in the 30th minute already, more or less. We'd like to remind you that Sports Tribe is the official match ball of the Philippines Football League. It is great to see officials from Sports Tribe actually here on opening day to grace the occasion in the partnership, of course, with the Korean brand and the top tier of football here in the Philippines. It was off Amir Manish. Haren de Gracia. Brian Villanueva got it to Diaz. Haren. Plenty of these Tuloy boys again have experience not just in the last PFL season but also in the Copa Paulino Alcantara. As this ball was clearly out and its last touch again against Mendiola FC. The youth national team will need to utilize its chances here if they want to get back on level terms. It's 1-0 again for the Brave Men. Mendiola FC didn't score again behind Amir Manish. It was off the Hamed Hajimari assist. And with that corner kick, there's kick also on the further end. A Brave Man in blue is Michael Sims, just expecting that short play just in case. It looks like there's some final reminders given by referee Meliton Pelayo. Normally that's for excessive contact again. Players just trying to get an advantage over the other as it went to the back post. Sent straight to a Brave Man though, as it's picked up by Jangoba Johnson. Gave this one as it's a promising opportunity to get forward. Christian Lapas. This time opts to cut in. Hamed trying to get it to Jangoba. But he did see that chemistry between Siron Saot. As it's now going back their way. Silver Pormento playing for this youth national team setup previously with Mendiola. I'm aware that he's pursuing his studies with San Beda, the educational institution, of course, that has its ties with Mendiola FC in 1991. Sims taking this one down the line. Pegandom. And Mourinho got it to go the way of the youngsters. We're well into the first half again here. It's Mendiola with that boost of confidence thanks to that goal. Jangoba Johnson tried to take it, but it was off the defender in Jan Karaig. There's Johnson providing that press. Same goes also for Manish. We initially thought they couldn't get past that Mendiola line that was up. But it's gifted back here to the national team. Saud taking it. What a finish right here to level the scoreline. Oh my goodness. Cyril Saud bagging the team's first goal in this competition. Sensational because it's 1-1 now. Back on level terms, game on as we say. Back on level terms, so it's back to where we started also. And now that they've picked up their first point last game, now it's their first goal here. How will that pave way for these boys of Coach Sergi Mascarell to possibly nab a breakthrough win? But do note, Mendiola again have been knocking on the door for wins when we look at their previous results. Some scorelines again absolutely did not go their way with massive score lines. But still, of course, they figured in close encounters. De Gracia. And with just a time check, we're about 36 minutes into this game already. More or less 9 minutes to go until additional time in the first half. Bata got it to the middle. It's looking a little dangerous, but these boys are calm. De Gracia thought he had it for a moment, but it's with Ryan Hermida. Hermida did great as he got it over to Manesh. Manesh again is the goal scorer, but couldn't connect with Hermida here. That's why it's gifted away. Now here comes Denmark Oraco in the middle, but it was stopped by Antepuesto. And as we say that, Diaz was bringing it up. And because there's the space, it is over to Karaig. There's Gadsbari Antepuesto again, who did play in the midfield last game and ended as a defender. Positions again that he's comfortable with playing. You gotta have those utility players, of course, from time to time. But if you run to the table again with 10 points each, it's Wantagig FC and Dynamic Herb Cebu. So if the competition or this Philippines Football League did end today, did be securing the slots to play AFC Champions League 2 football, a direct spot if you were Wantagig, and that qualifying playoff for Cebu. But again, this will be determined after the season. We are only about a quarter into this edition of the Philippines Football League 2024-2025. So in third and fourth place is Manila Digger and Stalin Laguna, and there's Kaya, Tava, Aguilas, and Maharlika to make it 5, 6, 7, 8. And Loyola, the youth national team, and Mendiola do round up places 8 through 10 in this competition again. And as we see Nathan Bat, of course, about to set this up, it will be delayed because there is Amir Manesh who is down. More or less 6 minutes remaining in the first half again. Cyril South did cancel out that goal of Amir Manesh. Don't count these guys out even if they are in the bottom of the table. So it's Bata and Orange to continue. So he's got options left and right, his center backs. There's that option to play short. This one will have to be retaken. Diaz. Great find here, over to Cyril South. South is that brotherly connection as it's with Cyril. Trying to play Karaig. Mendiola trying to get it out desperately, as we did see Denmark Oraco dispossessed his counterpart. Diaz, a little shake and bake, but it was definitely no good already here. But it came off a Mendiola player last, and it is a corner kick. Is it that momentum shift, or will we see Mendiola at the least hold on until halftime? Momentum shift because the youth national team did equalize to make it 1-1. But the opener again was courtesy of Amir Manesh. We are just awaiting the service here. As I said, it's all to play for. And as expected, there's Militon Pelayo once more, not just having a word, but we are sure he is giving warnings with the hand signals. No more of that. Milad Begandom and Brian Villanueva there pictured. Milad just giving him a little friendly tap as a Tuloy player, not Tuloy player, but a youth national team player took a fall. Well, it was Brian Villanueva who is from Tuloy. There you go, to be exact. So this one will be taken all the way from the back. Virtually a goal kick, we could say. But it is out of the goalkeeper box. Was it? But this one is a call that will allow Mendiola to continue working its way up in hopes of retaking the lead. This one's from the half line. Off of Jangoba Johnson. Milad Begandom trying to go for it. It was off of Brian Villanueva now. Gets to delay the play. But Mendiola will get to organize a little bit more and settle down. Jangoba Johnson also lurks here, hoping to trouble the opposing back line. And this is not the first time that we are going to see Mendiola play long or with a long throw in. As this one bounced in front, Nathan Bata secured it. Not a problem again. He's got Philippines Football League appearances with Kaya FC. He is on loan from that said club. Kaya again, the defending champions in this tournament. De Gracia. There was Michael Sims to head it out. Promising play from the two teams again. And they each have a goal to show for it also. It was height that allowed Mendiola to take the lead earlier as they scored off that corner kick. And then it was a wonder goal by Cyril South to level the game. Will one team get one over the other early, or will this be a late game or a late game filled with drama? We could also get that anticlimactic close with a draw, but sometimes you see draws with that back and forth action as both teams would get desperate to come up with goals. We are also closing in on the 45th minute. That means we are nearing the halftime mark. It is Mendiola FC once more in blue, and then it is gray for the youth national team. 3 minutes of additional time as confirmed by Timothy De Castro, our fourth official. Claro Manzano, your commentator for this match. So glad you could join us. You're catching this game on the Philippines Football League's Facebook and YouTube pages. Don't you forget, there's also Premier Football and Premier Sports. As there was just that lovely display of skill from Diaz. He slid this one over to Caraig. Harin De Gracias moved to right back, at least for this spell, or to maybe end the first half. That's with De Gracias' experience again in getting forward. as we see right here. Thought about it for a moment. He calmly did get it though to Joshua Merino, but Merino took a fall. As Mendiola played it long. How will this one ping pong back and forth? Antipuesto got it over to Hamed. Ajamari. He'll get momentum their way. This one knocked back to the goalkeeper. Moaya Dizare. Trying to give them offense with his long ball. And it's with Antipuesto. Couldn't connect with Jangaba Johnson. Great stop here by the youth national team. Coach Sergio Mascarell, of course, is catching the action, giving some instructions from his technical areas. You see him pictured down. He's on the ground. Of course, on the grounds for surveying things. As they take this shot from distance, courtesy of Ryan Hermida, but it was definitely off. And there is PFF President, Mr. John Gutierrez. He is having a word with Manila Digger FC owner in Shosha, Mr. Shosha Ramos, as he is called. It's great to see that solidarity again with the members of the community, and especially with this being a weekday. It's a Tuesday again. One of those few occasions that you've got Philippines Football League action. Again, the reason behind this was games were rescheduled due to the typhoon. As Antipuesto came up with that successful tackle, as it's with Hamed over to Johnson. We saw it was offside already. Fine tuning on their end if they'd like to sort out and capitalize chances like that. But there is the halftime whistle from Militon Pelayo. It is 1-1 again. The youth national team just managed to cancel out that goal of Amir Manesh, because Sidel South gave us a sensational finish. But there's definitely plenty more action, and we will be back after this break.
We thank you all for coming today and encourage you to visit the Philippines Football League Facebook page and the official PFL website, pfl.org.ph, for more details on the Philippines Football League 2024-2025. The passion, the power, the Philippines Football League on the rise. Use the hashtag PFL 2024-2025, hashtag PFL on the rise, hashtag support local football.
sira nung